Hi there, Sandra here from createinspain. Today I've got two different card designs to show you, and I'm trying out a different format. Because these cards are layered cards, there's nothing really to constructing them that I really need to show you. What I'm going to do is show you the finished cards, and then I will give you the file where necessary. Now this particular one I don't even need to give you a file for because it's made up of squares. And this is a really fun thing to do. Now I will give you the file for the stencil which I use to emboss my bronzy coloured card. Okay, so I will give you the file for that. The rest of it you really don't need a file for. Christmas sentiment, you can do those quite happily, you really don't need mine. And this is just to show you that you don't need to do anything really complicated to make a pretty nice looking card. Now I will confess this one has an error in it, and if you look carefully you'll know what the error is. I embossed this card and then I put the design round the wrong way on the front. And I didn't realise it until I'd finished it. Yeah, one of those days when I just wasn't paying enough attention and I made a mistake. But to be honest, if I hadn't pointed it out, 90% of the population probably wouldn't have realised that these are supposed to be little Christmas ornaments which should be going up that way instead. So this is done really easily. You just get a square of your card and emboss it, wrap the ribbon around it before you put it onto the front of the card, make a little bow, put that on. I then mounted it on another offset square, and I thought it needed something a little bit extra, and I found these bead strings in my stash, so I used them, and I think that has come out pretty well. Even though it's around the wrong way, I think it's still a nice card. So I did it in a different colour scheme, and this time I did it the right way up. Fancy that. The same type of sentiment, and what you might notice on both of them is that I went around the edge of the sentiment and I just did that with a gold pen. So this has been done in the same way, but I didn't put another larger mat on. I had the same card, the same stencil for the embossing, the same method of putting the ribbon on, obviously different colour. I then mounted it on a very slightly larger black mount, and then these are stick-on gems or stick-on pearls which I happen to have in my stash again. So I think both these cards are really nice. One is obviously a bit more bling, the other one's a little more understated. And of course you could do it in any colourway that you happen to like. I just thought this metallic looking card, it was about time I used it. I'd had it around for ages and I really didn't know what to use it for. Now the other design I've got is this one here. I've created this Merry Christmas wreath which is cut all in one piece, and it then has two offsets. Now I've done this initial one in a foil, so I've actually foiled that. I did actually use the plastic backing from HTV to foil this, because the plastic backing from HTV is sticky. So if you put the pressure sensitive foil on the top of it and you send it through your embossing machine, it'll stick to it. And you can then cut it out as if it were a foil paper. Now the difficulty with this particular design for doing it with that particular method was that it was very kind of floppy because there's not much in the center to stiffen it up. But you could do it in a foil card and it would be a little bit easier to handle. And then I've put on a small offset and then a larger offset, put it onto a square card. I've gone around the edge of this one with a silver marker and I added some gems. Now the bit that you wouldn't know by looking at it, because unless I tell you, you have no idea, the reason this has glitter on it is because I managed to get some glue on the front of my foil, and when it's on the front of foil you can't clean it off. You either destroy the foil or you have to cover it up some other way, And I thought, okay, I'll try some random areas of glittering. And unless I had told you, I don't think you'd realise that it wasn't there by design. So before you go, I've got a question for you. Do you prefer this short format of video where I simply show you the card design and then you just pick the design up and you can do what you want? Or would you prefer the longer formats where I actually make the card? Because according to metrics, most of you don't actually watch more than about 2.5, 3 minutes. Okay, let me know what you think down below and I will see you again soon. Take care now.